this film is about love, and it's not easy to speak about love or to put words about love. And I think for our story with Vincent, each day we would come in front of Michelangelo, we would say our lines, and he would direct us very precisely, saying, go slowly, don't look at him. To Vincent, smile a little bit, be more enthusiastic, oh, just a little, find a gesture. He was in fact very precise. One day I remember he was insisting on me having broader steps. He thought I was walking with too little steps. So just to say that even these little details were very important for him. The conditions were very good. We found a fantastic way to communicate. And even though we were not speaking the same language on the set, some Italian, some German, some English and some French, we all communicate with another language which exists, which is communication. And one of our great conditions was them, who really support us all and made this film happen. And so I hope you did like it too.
Working conditions were not that different from any other movie. There was a director, Michelangelo. There was a cameraman, Alfio Contini. There was a crew, there were actors. The only difference was, of course, that the director had a very slight handicap, which that he couldn't say much. Michelangelo does speak between 12 and 15 or maybe 20 words, and all very brief, like yes and no, and soon and tomorrow, and let's shoot. So the actors and the crew depended very much on Michelangelo's ability to convey his vision other than verbally. He did this a lot by drawing. Michelangelo, unfortunately, with the stroke, also lost the ability to write. So he cannot spell things anymore, although he can read, but he cannot write. So he was relying on drawings, on gestures, on taking the actors physically and showing them what he wanted to do. Michelangelo, from his first film on, never announced what he was going to do the day before. He never gave any indications to a cinematographer what his first setup would be, and he didn't change. He just shot the way he always shot. And when I asked Jean Moreau how it was working with Michelangelo, because she was one of the first actors he'd worked with, and how we should sort of envision the experience of working with a director who didn't speak, she said it doesn't make much of a difference. He didn't say anything anyway. So.
There is a scene in the beginning for me it was really difficult, because in that scene the girl I had to play, she has to explain a story about the soul, and actually in the scene she has just to catch the soul of the man who sits in front of her. And all what I wanted to do is to do it, I mean to catch the soul of the man in front of me. And it just sent me two things, no, one thing, go slowly. And it was all what I need to know about the scene, because the seduction and goes only with only slow it can work. So it's true he can speak a lot, but I think that actors, most of actors, they don't need too many explications. They just need to know that the director knows what to do, what he's doing, and I need le regard, the look, and he's got a great look, the most beautiful look, one of the most beautiful looking as director, and So I didn't miss his words, not at all.
He communicates by gestures and by the eyes, and sometimes if something wrong he gets angry. But even if sometimes it was a little bit confusing, I think we all made an effort, and I think everyone understood, and I think Michelangelo knew what he was doing completely. That's why.
One afternoon in Paris, Michelangelo got sick because he had a fever, and we had to finish a certain scene because the next day we had to move out of the set. So for once he asked me to direct a scene for him, and that was quite an easy scene. The rest of the 10 weeks of shooting he didn't need a backup director. He made it clear that I was his first choice. It was, of course, a crucial question that I wanted to ask Michelangelo myself. The answer was because, and that's as much as I got out of him. The lines between the episodes, so all the lines that form the voiceover of the director in the framework, are all based entirely on Michelangelo's own notes. I didn't feel that, and Tonino Guerra, who wrote the script, agreed with me. We both didn't feel that this director character should be Michelangelo like in a biography. We felt this director should be somebody else. But at the same time, we felt that as he was tying everything together, we should give him Michelangelo's thoughts. And Michelangelo opened his drawers and pulled out books and books and books of notes he had written over 40 years. And Enrica, his wife, selected those that are now the narration in the film. So everything that the director thinks is Michelangelo's own words. There's a new generation working in Germany and everywhere else for whom the context with the history of cinema never has been as important, and for whom, especially as they start their work in a different age than I did, they start their work in the late consumer age, for whom it's a whole different battle than for my generation. When I was starting to make movies, I was able to make a film every year for 10 years, which was an incredible privilege. Today, if you're a young film director, you need 3 or 4 years to make your first film, and then, if you're lucky, you can make your second 3 or 4 years later. So I was extremely privileged, and I always did feel that I had been given lots of gifts from these masters, like Ozu, for instance, and also Michelangelo. And I was happy that I could return some of the gifts.